Right now on Good Morning America First Look, new information about the status of DNA evidence in the search for Nancy Guthrie and who's now been eliminated as suspects.
The deadly shooting at this high school hockey game. What police have now revealed about the shooter.
The economy this morning, why the price of everything from jeans to electronics to spices for cooking is going up.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's new interview on the Epstein files. Why she says her husband, the former president, flew on Epstein's plane.
The alleged plot to attack a Taylor Swift concert, what the suspect now faces.
The top moments from the Winter Games, including two moms in their 40s making history for Team USA.
Plus, a pilot lands a plane on a moving train, how they pulled off this remarkable stunt.
And he's no turkey. The UPS driver showing his commitment, fleeing hostile turkeys to get those packages delivered.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay. And I'm Hannah Batal. We begin with new information in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie has now been missing for 17 days.
We're learning more about the evidence in this case, and now authorities are speaking out on who's been eliminated as suspects. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, all members of the Guthrie family have now been cleared as investigators searching for Nancy Guthrie focus on DNA in the case. The Pima County Sheriff saying, to be clear, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in the case. To suggest otherwise is not only wrong, it is cruel. The Guthrie family are victims, plain and simple. Sources say DNA from a glove recovered near Guthrie's home is being examined at a private lab in Florida.
The glove containing DNA was found right around here. We're about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home.
The glove is one of 16 picked up during roadside searches. Most authorities believe were discarded by investigators combing the area. In fact, our reporter saw another black glove in that area yesterday. Sources last night said the DNA sample was still undergoing quality control tests in Florida before the FBI can run it through its database known as CODIS, which will compare that sample to 22 million others.
Well, if it's not in the DNA database, what that means is that more than likely this person has never been convicted of a violent felony. So CODIS is primarily containing the DNA of people that have been convicted.
Investigators are also looking into whether DNA recovered on the property, which does not belong to Nancy Guthrie or her family, matches the glove.
We've gotten DNA back, and that's why I say, well, they already have the genetic markers of those that we think had access to the home, rightfully so, the family, the landscapers, the pool guy.
The suspect's clothing also a focus. Investigators are going through Walmart surveillance footage and sales receipts looking for the buyer of the Ozark Trail hiker backpack the suspect seen on this doorbell video was wearing. They say the clothes he wore that night might have also been bought at Walmart. Experts say investigators are also looking into Nancy Guthrie herself for possible clues.
We look at the victim's personality, we look at the victim's lifestyle, we look at their practices. Who do they interact with? How do they interact with people? And we study the victim in great detail. Our philosophy is this: through the lens of the victim, we know more about the offenders.
As for the two men previously stopped for questioning in this case, sources say investigators are leaning away from them as suspects. Results from testing on that DNA from the glove could be back within days. Hannah, Sophie.
All eyes on that. Lionel, thank you. The other big story this morning, the deadly shooting at an ice rink in Rhode Island. We learned new details overnight about the shooter.
This is the moment gunshots rang out at a high school hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Student athletes and people in the stands fleeing for safety.
It was a bang. I thought it was a pops. I thought it was balloons at first, but it was not balloons.
In the end, 2 victims and the suspected shooter were dead. 3 others were left in critical condition. Police say a brave bystander was able to subdue the gunman and prevent even more bloodshed.
A good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in this scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end of this tragic event.
Police identifying the shooter as 56-year-old Robert Duvall, who also went by the name Roberta. They say Dorgan entered the arena armed with multiple weapons to watch a family member, then carried out what they say appears to have been a targeted attack stemming from a family dispute.
And from witnesses here that the male shot himself inside the ice rink.
A woman claiming to be the shooter's daughter told our affiliate WCVB this was a domestic breakdown.
He shot my family, and he's dead now.
What was the reasoning? Was there a family argument?
He has mental health issues. If you have a loved one who you think is sick, trust your gut.
Officials confirming all student athletes were physically unharmed, but witnesses say the emotional scars will be deep.
You could see the tears starting to come down and the parents hugging their kids, and I'm sure they're thanking God that they weren't the victim of the shooting and they're still alive with them today.
The victims' names were not released. The shooting comes just 2 months after the deadly shooting down the street at Brown University in Providence.
Democrats have sent a counteroffer to Republicans in a new effort to fund the Department of Homeland Security and end the partial government shutdown. They've been demanding changes to immigration enforcement. They want to require ICE agents to remove their face coverings, show ID, and get a certain kind of warrant for searches. No word yet on what their counteroffer includes. President Trump says he is willing to sit down with Democrats, but last night he made it clear he's not on board with some of their demands.
Well, I don't like some of the things they're asking for. We're going to protect law enforcement. We're going to protect ICE.
Republicans already approved funding for ICE, but paychecks for TSA workers and other Homeland Security employees will stop if the shutdown continues.
Now to the economy and a warning about prices on some popular consumer goods. They're going up. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio explains why. Nicole, good morning.
Yeah, Sophie, good morning. More companies are suggesting they're done absorbing higher costs these days, but that means shoppers can expect higher prices on a variety of consumer products.
This morning, from blue jeans to cooking spices, corporate America is taking a new look at pricing this month, and it's not good news for consumers. The Wall Street Journal reports Levi Strauss is among the first companies to make the move and raise prices this year to offset rising costs, hiking the price of its popular ribcage jeans by $10 to $108. Levi executives blame tariffs.
It becomes a hidden tax burden. Businesses have higher costs, and they deal with that by reducing wage increases or slowing down on hiring. So it's really Americans who are paying this tax increase.
One study finds prices on even the most affordable imported goods have jumped by more than 2% in recent weeks. And prices online just saw the biggest monthly increase in 12 years, led by electronics and appliances. While big companies like spice maker McCormick & Company point to millions in tariff expenses, other businesses are also concerned about higher labor expenses, driven by minimum wage increases and higher health insurance costs. As for tariffs, the Supreme Court is set to weigh in on whether they're legal. President Trump says they're bringing in billions of dollars to the federal government, but a nonpartisan group says they're also costing the typical American household more than $1,000 a year.
Tariffs are a bit of a regressive tax, which means when you look at them as a share of a household's income, they impose a bigger burden on lower and middle income households than they do the wealthiest households.
And as for those price increases, analysts say appliances, furniture, and bedding are among the other household items seeing the larger than usual price adjustments. Hannah.
Nicole, thank you. A suspect is in custody after the fatal shooting of a police officer near Indianapolis. Officials in Beech Grove, Indiana, say 33-year-old Brian Elliott was killed while responding to a domestic disturbance call. A second officer was wounded. 47-year-old Kenneth Johnson was taken into custody after a brief search.
Another corporate shakeup triggered by the Jeffrey Epstein files. Billionaire Tom Pritzker is stepping down as chairman of Hyatt Hotels, saying he regrets not distancing himself sooner from the sex offender. Meanwhile, ahead of their testimony before Congress, Hillary Clinton tells the BBC she and former President Clinton have, quote, no links to Epstein. She said her husband took some rides on Epstein's plane for his charity work. And she says she does not recall ever meeting Epstein.
Turning to the weather, another round of storms hits California today. After several inches of rain triggered flooding in the Los Angeles area, some drivers were left stranded, and feet of snow fell in the Southern California mountains.
Farther north, strong winds tore the roof off a fire station in Fresno. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Now let's check your Tuesday forecast.
Good morning. Other than a light wintry mix in the northeast this morning, which melts down this afternoon, it's all about the west. Major rains returning to Southern California by tonight. Wind and winter alerts all the way out into the plains. The heavier rain will get back into Southern California later today and tonight. Mountain snows continue. Up to 8 feet of snow in the Sierra. Lots of snow in the much-needed Rockies. And then the fire danger and big winds out in the plains. We'll see more snow from Montana to Michigan. 6 to 12 inches. Could be some rain in the northeast by Wednesday. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, one very expensive Pokemon card.
Also ahead, the top moments from the Winter Games, including 2 moms in their 40s making history for Team USA.
But first, a developing story. An American surfing legend found dead after a home invasion. We're back with the close call on this Oklahoma highway. A state trooper and highway worker getting out of the way just before this speeding SUV slams into the trooper's vehicle. Traffic was being diverted at the time because of a grass fire. 3 people in the SUV were taken to the hospital.
An investigation is underway after an American surfing champion was murdered at his home in Costa Rica. Police say 66-year-old Kurt Van Dyke was stabbed and strangled during a break-in. His girlfriend was also injured. Police say 2 armed suspects got away with the couple's car. Van Dyke is part of a well-known surfing family from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Now to the Winter Games in Italy. The U.S. women's hockey team blanking the competition. The so-called quad god describing insurmountable pressure. And 2 moms in their 40s taking home medals.
This morning, some hard-fought wins for Team USA. 2 moms proving you can compete and win at the highest level even after age 40. Bobsledder Ilana Myers-Taylor at age 41 has become the oldest woman ever to win an individual gold medal at the Winter Games, all while raising 2 children with special needs. Her teammate, 40-year-old Kaylee Humphreys, taking bronze, returning to competition shortly after giving birth to her son. Myers-Taylor claimed the top spot in the monobob, beating her opponent by 4/100ths of a second, earning the 6th medal of her career and her first gold.
For me, it's been a really tough year with my back and everything like that. And, it took a lot to even get to the starting line. I don't know what the future holds. Right now, it's just going to be celebrating this medal.
Myers-Taylor is the most decorated black athlete in Winter Games history. Meanwhile, the women's hockey team continues their shutout streak, winning all 6 games of the tournament. After a dominant win over Sweden, they'll now play Canada for gold.
There's been some hard days, and we've gotten through those hard days, those hard moments to get us here, and I think it's what has helped us be the best that we can be.
Amid the celebrations, figure skater Ilya Malinin, the so-called quad god who failed to medal on Friday, is now speaking out about his disappointing routine, where he fell multiple times. The 21-year-old saying, on the world's biggest stage, those who appear the strongest may still be fighting invisible battles on the inside, adding it all builds up, resulting in an inevitable crash. He'll be back on the ice Saturday.
We're rooting them all on. Looking at the medal count overnight, it is Norway followed by Italy. The U.S. is in 3rd with 19 medals.
But there's still some time today.
There's still some time, yes.
Well, coming up, the alleged plot to attack a Taylor Swift concert, what the suspect now faces.
Also ahead, a judge is ruling on a slavery exhibit taken down by the Trump administration.
Back now with a helicopter rescue of a 51-year-old woman and a teenager from this mountain in Washington's Olympic National Park. The woman was injured falling in that area, which is known for recurring avalanches. The boy was injured trying to help her. And in North Texas, lightning was blamed for sparking this fire on a wind turbine. It was recently installed as part of a wind farm. No injuries reported.
A man now faces terrorism-related charges for allegedly plotting to attack a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna, Austria. Authorities say the 21-year-old wanted to kill as many people as possible, so they were forced to cancel 3 of the singer's shows in 2024. They say he declared allegiance to ISIS, obtained bomb-making instructions online, and tried to smuggle weapons into the country.
We turn now to Philadelphia and a court ruling on a slavery exhibit that was taken down by the federal government recently.
What started as a protest ended as a celebration.
I have great news. We just won in federal court.
A federal judge has now ordered the Trump administration to reinstall a slavery exhibit at the president's house site in Philadelphia. The site commemorates the home where George Washington and his slaves lived and worked.
The fact that the judge granted the preliminary injunction is a tremendous victory. When I say tremendous, that's actually an understatement. It's historic.
The judge ordered the panels be placed back on the wall, the way they were before they were removed by the National Park Service, which says it was complying with an executive order from President Trump that ordered the removal of, quote, divisive, race-centered ideology and narratives from federal cultural institutions. A legal battle ensued over whether the federal government has the right to alter the site. The judge, who was appointed by former President George W. Bush, visited the site before her ruling.
Once she saw the panels, once she came to the site, I was confident she was going to do the right thing.
In her ruling, the judge saying an agency cannot arbitrarily decide what is true based on its own whims or the whims of the new leadership, regardless of the evidence before it.
No response yet from the federal government. The Trump administration could still appeal.
Coming up, a pilot lands a plane on a moving train.
Plus, the fake video of a Tom Cruise-Brad Pitt fight scene sparking outrage. The new fallout.
Time to check the pulse. We start with the uproar over a new artificial intelligence tool creating realistic videos,
including one recent video of a fake fight scene between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. Check this out. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is now vowing to make changes after receiving legal threats over its AI generator called CDance 2.0, which made the video. At issue is the use of intellectual property.
Yeah, ByteDance is now promising to improve its safeguards and retrain the AI tool. Okay, next, an Italian pilot just made history on a moving runway.
Dario Costa became the first person to land a plane on a speeding train and then quickly take off.
Whoa.
The precision landing took place in Turkey despite heavy turbulence and shifting airspeeds. It was considered a blind landing because the top of the train only came into view seconds before he touched down.
Costa had a 50-second window to make contact and take off. Truly impressive that he did it, and I read that it took him 2 years of training to make this possible.
I'd say so. Next, one very expensive Pokemon card sold by YouTube star Logan Paul.
It's one of the rarest. Only 40 Pikachu illustrated cards even exist. Paul bought his for $5 million, and he sold it for $16 million. That's the highest price ever for a trading card.
Wow.
You can see why he has that big of a smile. Next, a pair of wild turkeys absolutely terrorizing a UPS driver in Connecticut.
Okay, this man seen running from the turkeys not once but twice while making deliveries in this neighborhood. At one point, he could be heard yelling, "I'm 40 years old, I can't be dealing with this." But he was committed to the job, and he delivered the packages nonetheless.
It's really impressive he doesn't drop the package. Yeah, when he got back to the truck, the turkeys were standing guard, but withdrew from attack mode, thankfully. Finally, a special rescue for a bald eagle on President's Day.
This was in Florida. The eagle was having trouble flying, so an officer placed it inside his SUV. Experts then carefully brought it to a wildlife center. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran are resuming in Switzerland today. President Trump says he will be involved indirectly after threatening military action. The U.S. is also kicking off 2 days of talks between Russia and Ukraine.
A deadly incident after a traffic stop by immigration agents in Savannah, Georgia. Officials say a school teacher was killed when an undocumented immigrant hit her car. They say he was trying to flee after getting pulled over. He's now under arrest.
Investigators in Minnesota say they've been formally notified that the FBI will not share evidence about the shooting death of Alex Preddy. He was shot by a federal agent during the immigration crackdown.
Today's weather, heavy rain and mountain snow in the west, high fire risk in the central plains, above normal temperatures in the south.
And finally, remembering Robert Duvall.
Danny New looks back.
A performer with so much range. In one iconic role, he's a country singer.
They shot Sonny on the causeway.
And in another, he's the Corleone family lawyer. This morning, we are remembering the life and legacy of actor Robert Duvall, who has passed away at the age of 95.
How'd you get it? Writing songs.
Duvall won an Academy Award for playing that country singer, Max Sledge, in the film Tender Mercies. Actually, that might explain why. When he won, Dolly Parton was so excited to call his name.
Hey, Boo.
However, Duvall did not need to sing or even speak in his very first movie, as he embodied the misunderstood but well-intentioned neighbor Boo Radley in 1960's To Kill a Mockingbird. From there, he would begin taking on memorable supporting roles in films like MASH.
It's good business, Tom. I'll try.
The first two films in the Godfather trilogy.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
And of course, Apocalypse Now, where he said one of the most famous lines in the history of cinema.
This set belly aching.
He disappeared into so many characters, and yet when he spoke with ABC in 2014, he said becoming these characters was not all about make-believe.
It's a life that you have to create from yourself, not from out here, from yourself.
Overnight, we're hearing from many of his former colleagues like his co-stars from the Godfather movies. Robert De Niro saying, "God bless Bobby," and Al Pacino adding, "His understanding and his phenomenal gift will always be remembered. I will miss him." Meanwhile, his co-stars from some of his last films are also honoring Duvall. Oscar winner Viola Davis writing on social media, "I've always been in awe of your towering portrayals." And Adam Sandler writing, "So many movies to choose from that were legendary. Watch them when you can." And Duvall frequently said, guys, his favorite role was in the TV Western miniseries Lonesome Dove, which he referred to as his Hamlet. He also said he loved that he got to ride horses in it, which he was known to do on his farm in Virginia.
So beloved, and also for his work in The Godfather. Such a great movie. That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day, everyone.